Join us live on the Sherry Lord Talk Show podcast. Start your day off with the Higher Vibrational Podcast with weekly guests covering spirituality, healthy foods, and so much more. Go to sherrylord.com for more info.
Hey, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning every Tuesday at 10 a.m. on the Sherry Lord Show. We have amazing guests and we can't wait to bring in Sierra Cooper. She is wonderful, you guys. She's always has a wealth of information and she's dynamic. You really want to check out her website and get to know her. And also, we're going to be sharing a lot on her show today. She has some wonderful new wealth of information she wants to share with us. Welcome, Sierra. Thank you for being back on our show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Good morning.
We love having you. Can you let our audience know just a little bit about what you do? I mean, we've had you on your show, but we also get a lot of new followers. And more about, let's dive into the topics too, because you are really knowledgeable and very gifted at what you do and what you share.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm in the medical field. I own Sierra's Integrative BodyWorX, which I have been a chronic pain licensed massage therapist, sports medicine, detox nutrition, active isolated stretching and strengthening for 23 years. I also have a previous background in owning clinics and gyms and juice bars and all that good stuff. And then now I'm extending my wealth of knowledge into my book I just wrote. I just got done writing. I Loved You in Reverse is the title of it, and it's 23 chapters. It's about my life. So that will be published next year. I also have some motivational speaking gigs that I'm doing out of state next year, and then I have Podfest 2026 for my podcast radio show, Living, Breathing, and Having a Good Time, which I want to have you on the show. It's a multi-generational podcast where I interview a lot of different people from all backgrounds, authors, actors, actresses, directors, producers. I got some financial people, health and wellness people, WNBA players. So it's been at all the Hollywood film festivals this past year, trying to ramp that up and advertise that and market that. And then I have a new committee for Podfest called the Rule Breakers. With Teresa Ryle, who was a former comedian actress with Tom Cruise and a bunch of other people, and she owns a spa at a Largo. And Patriarch's water, which she developed with a Russian doctor, which is really high oxygenated water. It's amazing, and she's definitely marketing it right because she's beautiful. Doesn't have a wrinkle, and no, she hasn't done Botox. And Val. My friend Val from Canada, who has a brand new show that was just launched on July 21st for her podcast radio show. And it's like unleashing confidence. So she's really fantastic. Then I also have a networking group locally that I'm collaborating with several friends on. And a medical corporation that I'm naming after my daughter. So I've got a lot of stuff. So I work all the time. Yeah.
Absolutely. And congratulations on your new book that'll be coming out. Make sure to give me a copy of the cover. We'll put it out on our end as well. That's amazing. That is amazing. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
You've accomplished a lot.
I love to write. It's my therapy. I also love to exercise, as you know, and then I love to teach people. But I think most of all, I really like to find the voice behind what it is I try to convey to people. I think that teaching in private's one thing, but then getting out there and actually going abroad nationally and sharing your knowledge with people because the health and wellness industry is so vast that you have the western side and the eastern side and no combination, no meat in between. And so when I have patients come in to see me with chronic pain or lupus or strokes or cancer or Parkinson's, MS, by the time they find me, they're pretty well gone because they've had all this stuff and they have no idea where to start, who to know. And it's all about who you know. And let's face it, by the time a lot of people actually get to that point, they're pretty sick,
Yeah.
because the healthcare system is very backwards. So I want to show people through my medical corporation how they can combine services, learn, grow, and make it more efficient.
Yeah, it feels like you bring all the pieces together because people are not educated. And even there's so much advertisement where it's confusing with food and even exercise.
Sure. There's a lot of different people that have different views on that. Of course, there's
Yeah,
a lot of science-based nutrition, but people don't look at everything. I mean, your blood type has a lot to do with
yeah,
what you should be eating and not eating. Parasite cleanses are essential. We deworm our dogs and cats, and so why aren't we doing that? The elements that we're surrounded by are extremely toxic. So your skin, your largest organ, absorbs everything. So it's like I tell people, whether you're not getting enough sun, you're not keeping up with your hygiene properly, you're not hydrating properly, you're not sleeping properly, everything works on functionality. And so
yeah,
understanding how to minimize that concept and make it easy for people, because that's the key essential. And today I'm going to be talking about perseverance. And
okay,
so that actually goes into what I just talked about, is being able to be consistent in your life, to actually find that pathway to where you enable yourself to do good things for yourself. I think
yeah,
we are the species of habit, and unfortunately, we know the things that are not good for us.
yeah,
And those things actually become usually the core essential part of our routine. So today, I'm going to be talking about a subject I'm going to be talking about at PodFest, about resilience, about being able to understand that it's okay to make mistakes, that it's
yeah,
okay to grow. No one's
mhm,
perfect. I think half the time people are afraid of failure because they recognize failure as a missed opportunity, or they haven't been able to accomplish their goals. And I tell them that's silly, because I've had, quote unquote, a lot of failures, because a lot of things that I have worked on for many, many years have not came to fruition yet. That does not make it a failure. That makes it a thing about timing.
mhm,
And everything is timing. And so over time, I have grown and I have
yeah,
been able to meet mentors and people
yeah,
along the way that have helped me. So it's only a failure if you quit. I tell people, if you quit, then you fail. It's just like you've had this podcast for 2 years. You've been a psychic medium for 25 years,
yeah,
and you've had a lot of ups and downs too,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But it's all about timing, and we were just talking about that earlier. And so now I feel like, now that I've aligned myself with certain
yeah,
people, now
yeah,
is the time to thrive. You know,
yeah,
had I met them 10 years ago, I would have never worked, because
yeah.
I wasn't this person 10 years ago.
Yeah, it is we're shifting, we're empowering ourselves in so many different ways of being honest of what's healthy and what's not healthy. Really looking at it. And you don't have to do what you always did. The alignments are very important when you're ready. And when you shift, I think when we shift, those alignments are right there. Our alignments are aligning with them, as we
Yeah.
step into it, as we step into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's also important to note that a person's mindset, right? So,
Right. Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about this. So you talk about shifting energies, and
Yeah.
it's like I tell people, you can develop new neural pathways through what you tell yourself every day. So if people sit
Hmm.
there and they're constantly their own self-critic, and they're telling
Yeah.
themselves that, oh, I'm not worth this, I don't
Yeah.
deserve this, I have a very narrow-minded view of what my life could be, well, then that's exactly where you're going to end up with. But if you have the
Yeah.
mindset of growth, then your brain connectivity is actually going to change. And that neurologically, scientifically has been studied, and it shows that the people with a growth mindset, they increase and they boost that
Yeah.
amount of structure, perseverance, and persistence. So the brain's like a muscle, So it's like I tell my clients. I mean, in order to change one bad habit,
Yep.
it literally takes 30 hours of your brain going over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So it's like when I meet people that say, okay, well, I want to start an exercise program. I go, you know what? Start with walking.
Yep.
Start with walking. And they're like, you know what? I haven't done that in years. I'm like, okay, well, then today you go out and
Yeah.
you walk for 15, 20 minutes. The more you move, the
Yeah.
better. And I have a
Yeah.
lot of women, especially besides men, because men go through a male menopause
Yep.
called adrenopause. And a lot of my women, they will do all these crazy workouts and they'll starve themselves and they'll go on these diet fads.
Yep.
And they're like, I'm not losing inches and I'm not losing pounds. Why is this? Well, number one, hormones. Number two, sleep. You burn calories in your sleep.
Yep.
So when you are not sleeping viscerally, you're adding to that adipose tissue that is actually collecting and re-inflaming your body.
Yep.
And number three, hydration. I mean, people don't understand we are over half water. So with the functionality of hydration, you increase your cognition rate, you increase the amount of energy you actually feel, you decrease the weight because now you're flushing out all those toxins in your body. And that's one of God's natural medicines is water. And a lot of people can argue with that, but the thing of it is, when I see my cancer patients come in, the
Yeah.
top three things cancer feeds off of is dehydration, sugar, and fat. And that is where I tell people at a molecular cellular level, if you want to reset your mitochondria, you intermittently fast and you hydrate.
Yep.
And it's the simplest thing. We don't need so much food. If you're not going to be practicing to be an Olympic athlete, then why are you eating 7 times a day? That whole course in the brain that tells you that, oh, I'm hungry. No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're actually thirsty half the
Yeah.
time. So, change in the mindset, it's huge, and it will take you to a successful place, whether it be, because I have people ask me, well, what are you going to do when you grow up someday? And I go, well, I don't know yet because I'm not grown up. I mean, I really feel like a kid. It's all the time. I'm always changing and I'm always evolving and I'm always learning something new. And I feel very blessed that I can say,
Yeah.
you know, I like growing and I like learning.
Yep. Absolutely. And you get such value from it, you know?
You do. And the people that I've met that have been mentors to me. So my first mentor out of college, when I actually started on Boca Grande, for therapy with my therapy skills. He was absolutely an amazing body worker, and his name is John. And it's really funny because you're a psychic medium, right? So I'm going to fill you in. So I've had a lot of Johns around me and Sean's. And so there is
Yeah.
something to that, right?
Yeah, there is.
But he, him and me were like amazing together. We worked for hours at a time. Mentorship, people have to learn how to collaborate.
Yeah.
People have to learn that teamwork is essential because
Yeah.
if you're competing with
Yeah.
everything in your life, I see it even in marriages. I mean, I have people come to me and they're like, I don't understand why my life is so horrible. Well, half the reason why you're fat and overweight and you feel horrible is you're with the wrong partner. You're with somebody that doesn't support you. When you
Yeah.
go to sleep at night, you're worried, you're in fear of losing something, your cortisol level spikes, especially women. And you wake up the next day and you feel like a failure because you feel like you can't do something because somebody else tells you that. And I can't tell you how many people have told me that I can't do something, and then I
Yeah.
show them up and do it that much better.
Yes.
So, right? So
Yeah.
it's almost kind of like, that's motivation for me to say, hey, if you want to suppress me and keep me down here, I want to mentor you and teach you that you can't do that, because
Yeah.
we are our own person.
Yes.
So recognizing those challenges, and I've had a lot of challenges over the years. I've had ups. I've had ups and downs. My daughter's father passed away.
Yeah.
I've had two marriages that didn't work out, which is fine because it taught me a lot
Yeah.
about myself and about who I, should align myself with. And I very much appreciate that. I've also had a lot of setbacks in business. I mean, I've had those instances where I've gone through the ups and downs of life, and financially, it
Yeah.
was a struggle because I was a single mom for many, many years. I still am, technically. And I've had people do me wrong in business, and so I talk about that, and it's okay to make those errors along the way. It has just taught me about people. And now that I'm going to be hiring people for a medical
Yeah.
corporation, it's actually made my discernment
Yes.
of who I want to work with
Yep.
that much better. And it's not a
Mhm.
picky type thing.
No.
Because I've had people say, well, how do you really know? Honestly, within the first 5 minutes, a person tells you exactly who they are. They
Yeah.
they won't lie. Their energy won't lie. If you're picking up something and you don't understand why you don't care for them, or there's something about them you can't put your finger on, I've learned not to ignore that.
Right.
And that's intuition, and we all have intuition,
Yeah.
and some, and obviously, right, you were born to do what you do. It's a gift.
Mhm.
It's because, yeah, do we have psychic abilities? Yes, but
Yes.
I think a lot of people don't understand that people that really have like your gift, right?
Mhm.
It really is a gift. It's not
Mm.
like you just wake up one day and you say, oh, I want to do this.
Yeah.
This is something that was given to you to show people that you can do your work, and
Yeah.
show people that it's not woohoo, it's
Yeah.
not voodoo, it's actually spirituality. And I think it's a really unique gift that you have, Sherry. And I've had the opportunity of doing a few readings with you, more than a few, and you're really accurate. There's things that you've said to me that I don't think anyone else has ever said. And so it's like, you can't really dispute that. You can't really tell people, oh, hey, no, no. If someone's sitting there and you've never said this to anybody, and they look at you and they go, well, have you been thinking or been doing XYZ? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. And I haven't told anybody that. And so I think
Mhm.
people need to understand that is whatever gift that they have to set themselves up for success by recognizing the challenges,
Yep.
by embracing the mistakes, and by understanding that it's okay to communicate the effort that you've been putting forward, because that communication portion of it is really huge. And I think a lot of people think that communication is just talking, and it's not. The
Uh-uh.
biggest form of communication is listening.
Yeah.
And I was telling you before the
Yeah.
show that
Yeah.
I feel like we've got a lot of trauma based society
Yeah.
now. because people, when they were younger, they were threatened by their parents, right? Their
Yep.
parents used to look at them and go, if
Yeah.
you don't listen to me, then
Yeah.
XYZ is going to happen. Well, no, listening is a good thing. And we as children were programmed on so many wrong levels, you know, and
Yeah.
I see it in adults all the time. They're like, I know I should be going to bed by 9. And I'm like, do you know what we used to do when we were 2? We used to go to bed by 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And it's not because, well, maybe in some instances our parents just wanted to get rid of us. But it literally was a good thing that we were taught, and we just over time forget about all those good things, and
Yeah.
we recognize them as bad things, and then we incorporate all the bad habits. So I've got some daily habit information that I want people to take in.
Ooh.
You know, I think affirmations are really important, starting
Yeah.
your morning out, whether it be a meditation, a prayer,
Yeah.
something. And when you wake up, when your brain first wakes you up in the morning, like, you know, let's say 4:30, something like that, and you can't go back to sleep, get up. Don't lay there, just get up, because that's
Mhm.
your body saying, okay, it's time to get up. Get up and, you know, set your intention of stretching, working out, doing something good for your body. um Make clear goals for the day.
Mhm.
Make
Yep.
sensible, rational goals for the day. Don't try to overwhelm yourself with things that are like two lists of things, because I do this all the time. I have a very bad habit of putting too much on my plate at once.
Yeah.
And then I looked at that as productive. No, that's not productive. Productive can
I
even
get it.
be a day of rest.
Yeah.
And I tell my
Mhm.
clients that, you know, I was just talking to a friend yesterday. She was on the phone with me and she's like, I have no idea why I feel so bad about doing absolutely nothing today. And I said, because your self worth is dependent upon what you do. I said, your brain recognizes you doing something as, okay, now I'm worth that. It's
Yeah.
okay. I'm not telling people to be lazy every day or to stay in bed all day long, but sometimes your body needs a break.
Yep.
And I've had a wall where my endocrine system just said, you know what, Sierra, we're not having this, and you're just going to take Saturday, Sunday off. And you can't feel bad about that, because that's how
Mm.
people end up sick. I see it all the time in my practice. People walk in with cancer. Cancer is a huge precursor to anger issues and
Yep.
resentment. They've worked so hard, and all they do is work to pay bills, and they don't do anything fun. They don't do anything
Yeah.
good for themselves. So reward yourself. So set your daily goals and affirmations. Try to pick 3. Like, get up, and even if it's like affirmation cards that you just look at and it says, you know what, something positive, and you keep that. Or if you have an app on your phone or a Bible app or whatever you want, put it there to where we always look at our phones anyway. So if you're going to scroll and read through something, do that. Put something in your car to listen to on the way to work. I tell people all the time, sometimes when you start your day out with a bunch of heavy metal music and head banging and
Yeah.
all this stuff, it's not healthy, because you're just starting your day. So be a little more like, put on some Billy Joel or
Mm.
something like that. Something that puts a good vibe, a good feel for your day. Number 2, besides positive self-talk, is, again, go back to, okay, what was yesterday? And you'll look back at yesterday 24 hours prior, and you'll say, okay, well, yesterday I wanted to do this and now I'm doing this. Okay, well, now you're doing that. So you should celebrate your progress and push yourself one thing every single day to do something you didn't feel like doing. So, again, going back to the walking or getting in the pool, stretching, if you start to do it and you just say, okay, well, I don't feel like doing it, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's amazing how the brain over a week's time will start to go, oh, I like this. And then your body starts to go, oh, I like this. That feeling of like is huge. That's where the serotonin, the dopamine, the norepinephrine, it spikes and it's like, wow, okay, now I want to join a gym. Or create a space in my house for a gym. So those are very easy ways to develop positive patterns in your life. And I think the number one thing is to not allow negativity
Right.
in your bubble. It's very hard because as soon as you walk out of your house, and maybe not even out of your house, maybe your phone. I know a lot of people that work from home and they've got this customer service thing going on. They work for an insurance company, they work for AT&T, whatever it is. And they deal with people all day long. And these people are, I hear it all the time. They come into my work and they say, oh my gosh, I'm peopled out. I can't do it anymore. I just want a massage and I'm shutting off. Okay, well, great. The thing that we have created is a humongous negativity cycle, either within our home, within ourselves, or within our safe places. Nobody has a safe place anymore. And that's very, very important. You've got to have your safe place. So if someone's coming over to my house and I know that they really are just, they're not very nice and they're not very congenial, and not only am I probably going to sage and throw a lot of holy water around my house, but more than likely I'm not going to have them over. And that's okay to say no. So again, going back to the whole neurological, psychological thing, people that people please do nothing for themselves because they're taught that saying no is bad. They're taught that listening is a bad thing. Hey, I'm going to rebel. I'm not going to listen. That's so wrong. It's okay. You can be yourself. You can be independent. You can be strong. You can be all these things. But just recognize too that everything around you, all the external stimuli, all the living things, if you're actually giving out that yuck kind of thing, that's all you're going to attract. So I feel like the end all result with the whole perseverance and persistence thing is recognizing how to change you to attract more of what you want.
That's wonderful. I mean, Sierra, you have such wealth. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Are you there?
Yeah, you have such wealth of information and it's just amazing. I just want to say thank you for everything you've done and everything that you are doing to help people throughout the world.
Sherry.
And yeah, I'm here.
I think it kind of.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Check the mute button. It's all right. I just so appreciate having you on our show. We love having you. We're going to have you back. You have helped so many people throughout the world. We just appreciate you, Sierra. And thank you so much for being on our show. Namaste. International psychic medium and podcast host Sherry Lord. She is one of the most sought after psychic mediums. Book your special readings. Go to www.sherrylord.com.